I stand by my word, and I still believe it's true. One of the best mechs in the game is the Madcat MKII-B Bravo, and it just so happens to be the next free mech for April. Let's go and talk about the builds and how you can use this build to dominate. Hey, what's going on, guys? Sean here, and welcome back. We've got another free mech from Piranha Games this month, and of course, to be able to get that, it's actually relatively easy. For those that didn't know, all you have to do is go down here to the bottom left. You'll see this little event icon. You click it, wait for it to pop up, okay? And it'll actually show you incoming events, current events, and of course, past. The current one right now has a bunch going on, okay? The only one you really need to be concerned with as far as acquiring this mech is at the bottom. It's this right here. All the others are just for other items. So for instance, if you want the Mark II Bravo Dazzle camo, you have to do this. But if you're only concerned with the mech and getting the mech bay, all you have to do is get the stuff at the bottom. Now I will say, with all of these events, if you just do each individual one, or in this case, I did the trial mech challenge for the Dazzle camo, it pretty much put me on par in knocking out all the other things to be able to do it. I did have to do a little bit more with ballistics because you have to do a little bit more damage. I don't know if that was a typo or not, but 5,150 damage, of course, for the Mark II Bravo, known for ballistics, and boom, you've got one of the best mechs in the game, in my opinion. And let's go and talk about this mech. I've done plenty of videos on this, and lo and behold, this is the next mech that comes out. For those that don't know, you've got a clan battle mech, basically, not an Omni, that is able to pretty much do whatever you want it to do. It's got everything going for it. It's got a sleek profile from the front and from the side for the most part. The biggest, I would say, pull to it is its ballistic. Look at where these are, man. If you can see it, you can shoot it. So they're high mounts here, and with that being with that as well is you've got good convergence. The arms aren't super wide; they're right in a perfect spot, and it allows you to do some really, really cool things. Now, I will be upfront about this, guys. We have a very, very big patch coming. So I'm going to give you a build that I think is pretty much a generic across the board. You will see a few others out there. You will see a dual UAC-10, dual LB-10 build on this. You will also see people mixing around with 2 ERPPCs and some AC2s or UAC-2s or LB-2s as well, especially with the PPC meta going on right now. But I'm not going to focus on those. I'm only going to focus on the one build that really hasn't changed throughout the years, and I think will continue to be good even after this April patch with all of the weapon changes coming, because I don't know what it's going to be like. So I feel like I don't want to put you on a bad foot and say, hey, here's this really good build, and then you get it, and then things change. I will also say the UAC-10s and UAC-5s, potentially, this build may become relegated to top tier or maybe relegated to mediocre. I don't really know, other than the fact of this build has pretty much stayed tried and true for years now. So it's what I'm used to. I can highly vouch for its effectiveness. Now, the first thing someone is going to say, but Phil, it has a weakness. If you blow off the arms, it's out of weapons. And you're 100% correct. But I could also say that about any mech. Hey, but you know, that Piranha, if you just shoot its legs off, it's dead. Or, hey, if you shoot that arms off the Phoenix Hawk, all mechs have a drawback. And with that, though, and with knowing that, this thing is still a performer. It's able to throw down burst damage really quick, the UAC-5s and UAC-10s. And man, when you get on those rolls of no jams as well, it just puts a hurt out there. Also, another reason I like it is because it has lower arm actuators, you are able to basically effectively engage your targets, smaller targets, much more easily than something like the BASP, which I agree is a good mech, but this isn't the free mech. This is. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about, of course, the Mech Lab here. If you watch the 4 top mechs for new players, this is the exact same build. Nothing's really changed, except you will see some iterations out there. But with people experimenting, the UAC-10 and LB-10 is a solid setup. It's a little bit different, but I love the speed of this. I love the profile. And yeah, there are some drawbacks, and there are things that you need to be aware of. But all that being said, is the idea is to burst down your enemies as quickly as possible and apply the pressure with speed, maneuverability, and firepower. And this is sort of the culmination of all of that. So let's go jump into the Mech Lab and talk about what this build has. Now you're going to see a few variations out there. You will see a few people drop some tonnage as far as from jump jets. They'll take one jump jet and drop those 2 extra tons into double heat sinks. This is not a bad recommendation. If you do struggle with heat management out there, you're not able to ride that line as easy. This will give you a little bit of freedom. But for me, over the period of time, I've gotten a little bit better to managing the heat and riding that line. And so I like to risk it. And that risk is being able to put more rounds down range. And that means extra ammo. And of course, in this case, just having a little bit of extra jump jet juice, albeit jump jets are in a bad spot. So it's not a bad trade-off. Okay. With that being said, we have a ton of ammo. And speaking of ammo, we have 4.5 tons of UAC-10, and then we have 6 tons of UAC-5. Why more on the UAC-5s? Just to be blunt, it's because you fire more UAC-5s than you do UAC-10s. Even when you're bursting down, it's got a smaller cooldown. Why do I have UAC-5s in, and why do I have basically one of each in each arm? Now, this is going to be a little bit controversial, but from my opinion, I would rather lose one of each if I lose an arm than 2 UAC-5s or 2 UAC-10s. And most people would put the 10s in the right arm just because most of the time you do right arm poke. I would rather just lose one of those. And yes, if you do lose an arm, it does suck. And yes, if you lose both, you're out of the fight, but that's the risk, right? So with this, we have an XL330, 3 double heat sinks, Indo and Pharaoh and double, of course. And I do run 2 jump jets. And of course, that is, of course, subjective. You can strip that off like I suggested at the very beginning if you have problems with heat. Even though it says 1.38 here with no additional outside of these, it could get you up to around 1.48. Consumables, pretty straightforward, cool shot. Now, as far as artillery, airstrike, or UAV, I would probably recommend a UAV for most people, including myself. I find more often than not that I'm in a situation where I'm behind a line of cover, and that information is more valuable than dropping an airstrike that may or may not hit. That being said, if you're really good with airstrikes or artillery, go with that. All right, let's go talk about skills. Across the board, my main focus is going to be ballistic. I have nothing else, all right? So I want to get down to these UAC and rack nodes, and that, of course, improves your jam duration. And in this case, how long I'm going to be jammed when my UACs jam. And when you pick up these, it's negative 15%. That does not decrease your chance. It's the duration of the jam. So keep that in mind. You are going to jam. This just reduces it by 15%. You're also going to pick up the mag capacity, which gives you plus 12 per ton for both the UAC 5 and 10. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a few extra nodes here. Again, I'm going to have around 2 nodes left over. I'm going to go full survivability here, density and armor. You can pick up some mobility. Again, I'm looking forward to potentially May for mobility changes to come, where this won't be as needed just across the board. Operations. Now, because we are not investing in like a laser vomit build, as I suggested earlier, with the heat dissipation, I'm going to ignore this because really where the heat savings is going to come from is the heat gen nodes from the firepower tree. Okay, so operations is going to remain irrelevant. I'm also going to pick up 60% of radar depth. Now, someone could argue, and I don't think it's anything wrong with, instead of taking a range here, you can drop one of the range nodes and go over here and pick up seismic. This is actually, let's just say, a good idea. So again, that's really up to you. One level of seismic. Why not 100% radar deprivation? You're going to have to get those points from somewhere. So you could take them from internal structure on the survival tree and pick up radar deprivation of 100%. That's going to be up to you. But I feel like 60% is a good value. And of course, picking up a seismic isn't bad as well. On the auxiliary, again, you're going to pick up the consumable slot, allowing you a UAV and a consumable like Cool Shot or Arty and Airstrike. I'm going to go ahead and show you some rounds of this in action. And for those that have followed me over the years, this build hasn't changed. It's really effective. It's probably one of my top performers out there. When I'm having a bad day, I can generally take this out and perform really well. Albeit right now with the PPC meta, it does struggle again because it doesn't have that ability, long range pinpoint front loaded damage. But of course, those changes are going to be reverted. And with the weapon changes that are coming, I don't know what the future is going to hold for this particular mech. albeit I'll use a little bit of history and say that I believe this mech is still going to be one of the top mechs out there, if not one of the best mechs across the board. It'd be interesting to see statistics, win rate for this particular setup, but I don't know if that's even possible as far as the broad population and player base out there. But anyways, guys, I hope you found this useful. Let's go check out that gameplay. Struck by
Target engaged. Airstrike initiated. Target engaged.
They're already rotating, guys. Echo 4, just take top so they rotate and we don't have to.
Target
Jesus
engaged.
Christ. The rotation.
Target engaged.
Echo.
Like, they're already here. Like, look at this. We just started the match, man. It's fucking absurd.
Engaged.
I'm not gonna... Alright, I'll just drop down here. Go back up.
Target engaged.
No one wanted to take top, so that's alright. You don't have to.
Well, but
Embrace the rotation today. Alright, let's do it.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Most dangerous mech is a commando.
Target engaged.
Is it Braum again? Yeah, it's Braum. Cheese build, cheese build.
Heat level.
Cheese build. Stop getting shot. Great.
Target.
We're gonna take top, guys.
nothing's doing.
Enemy mech destroyed. Target engaged.
I don't even know what the fuck's going on right now. Come on, come on. Only commandos.
Target.
Have no worry or concern.
Bravo.
Gonna drop on Braum. Drop on his face.
Legs on Ghana. Fenceman.
How did he go? Oh, okay.
Target
Really?
engaged.
Calling shenanigans.
Guys on top again. Do heavy mechs or something.
Enemy mech detected. Target engaged.
It's everybody running around in circles like a bunch of idiots.
Target.
That's what this
engaged.
match has devolved into.
Critical
Chaos.
hit. Left leg.
Chaos everywhere. Really?
Target engaged. Enemy mech destroyed. Target engaged. Image enhancement disabled. Target engaged.
Apparently play a commando. Anytime I'm in the commando, I don't have that good of luck, man. I always die, like, quickly. I don't, like, commando pilots amaze me because it's like, if I try that maneuver, I just die instantly.
Worth it.
Yeah, hater, I don't know, man, that was rough, man. Rotations, like, why? Alpha. Alpha. The others to get involved here. There we go. Shot. That's, oh, that's Lancers. God dang it. Why'd I have Lancers on the match? Lancers going wide there. There's two Black Lanterns. Watch it.
We're getting them. I'm here.
Got a whole land.
Go for the left torso.
Agree with me?
Yeah.
Yep, we're here. We're here.
Target engaged.
Above us.
Yeah, that's evil.
Engaged.
All out of them here.
I'm waiting for others to. My right torso is gonna be. Oh, okay.
Airstrike
Pushing. Hater, I'm right behind you.
Yeah.
You gotta take him out.
Target engaged.
I'll get him.
Protocol
He's almost done. One shot.
Target engaged.
On fox shot.
Enemy mech destroyed.
One behind you, Sean.
Target engaged.
I'm going for the Irby. I'm on Irby.
Target engaged.
I'm pushing him down.
That's a fucking dangerous build.
He's down.
Ow. Oh, of course. Snubs. Feel like I'm brick.
Hit right arm.
Back up here.
Critical hit.
Right torso echo.
Target engaged.
They're pushing harder than guys.
Yeah, get ready. Kilo. It's a streak boat. Back up. Let him come around.
Engaged. Disabled.
Left torso on fox shot.
Target engaged.
About to get pounded into the dirt here. Yep. Ah.
Warning. Airstrike protocol active. Airstrike initiated.
No, there's no patch notes yet.
Target
It's
engaged.
just what was posted for the weapon changes and weapon
On
dies.
H King Crab.
Death Valley, Fox 7.
Death Valley.
Yep. We're here with you. India. He's got murdered. It's just applied burst here. I don't want to get shot in the back, so I'm just gonna push down. Golf. Golf is stripped. Next. Kilo. Hey, Spartan. What's up, buddy? Aw, thank you for the resub, brother. Thanks for supporting me here. Dropping your prime. 5 months in a row. Super generous, man.
Bloody messy.
Target.
Delta. Thanks, man. Thanks for subbing, man.
Target.
And it's a free sub, too. You don't even have to spend extra cash on it, man. We have a few new patrons today, a few new subs today. Thank you, guys. Thanks for supporting. Every little bit counts. Or a lot of bit. Some people have a lot of bits. I mean, I'm not talking about your bits right now. I'm just saying, like, it's very personal talking about the size of your bits. I get it. I don't know where to face here. Juliet.
Target engaged.
Yep, yes.
Engaged.
Oh, he's coming my way. Nope. There's two of them. I'm gonna go over top.
Critical. Enemy mech destroyed.
Oh, it's about to be hot drop o'clock time. Oh, of course this guy.
Jesus Christ.
The zone for 25%.
Yeah, it wasn't really consistent in the first place, as Natural says.
We are
Yeah.
victorious in battle.
And of course, if you guys found this video helpful and you like what I do, consider becoming a patron today. What does Patreon give you and give me? Well, it allows me to focus on the content, creating content like this, And what you guys get is early access to my content. Every video goes up the day before. You guys get to watch it behind the scenes. Also, we get some shout outs in chat. We've got podcast sponsorships as well for individuals. So check out if any of this aligns with your wallet and your capabilities and you like my content, consider becoming a patron today. Thank you for considering it. And if you don't have the ability, never apologize. Just enjoy the content and let me know down, of course, in the comments. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this build review for the free mech of April 2021, the Madcat Mark II Bravo. What do you guys think? Do you think this is still one of the best mechs in the game? Are you going to use this? What setup are you going to try? Are you going to try the UAC 10 LB10 setup that we talked about earlier? Or maybe you're going to try the AC2 with ERPPCs? With the meta changing, I think we're going to see some alterations and variances coming around with builds. But let me know down in the comments below what you guys think.